What's up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the MSR Workshop. So I've got another video today on the laser. And in particular, we're going to be showing you how to create a base for doing signs. So stick around, I think you'll enjoy this. So in today's video, we're going to be using a 24-inch round MDF circle that I cut out on one of my previous videos, and that was a bandsaw video, and I think you'd really like that one. So stop there first if you need to know how to cut round circles, and then come back to this video. So what I'm going to be showing you today is how you can create a design like this on, say, the base of your sign, where it gives you kind of a faux shiplap look. Now, a lot of bases for signs have a shiplap underneath, and then they put the lettering over the top. Well, shiplap can be expensive if you're buying it and actually attaching it to the sign base and then, say, routering it out to make it a round look. So what I've designed here is a way that you can actually create that look on your laser. Where it gives you the lines and the grooves and making people think once you've painted it that you've actually got real shiplap attached to that wood. So let me show you how I did that. So jumping over here to our light burn program, you see that this is our round sign in the bed of our laser. Now I have a light burn camera set up, and it has been a wonderful thing to use because you can set stuff down like this and get stuff really dialed in and lined up. So when you have your piece of wood or material or whatever it is that you decided to put in your bed, you'd come over to here to update overlay. So you'd get whatever shape or piece of wood that you put in there. And then next, we are going to come down to my art library. Now I have created 3 different designs. These were all using straight lines. If you want to know how to make shapes like this, weld different lines together, I have released a short little tutorial on how you can do this yourself. Now that I have gotten my shape that I want, and I want this on the bottom half, I'm going to go ahead and drag this to the size that I want. Now one thing to keep in mind is when you drag, you want to make sure that up in the corner your proportions are locked, because you don't want to make this some kind of weird shape. So we're going to enlarge that, and I'm going to keep enlarging it until these lines just barely hang over. Now let's fade the background so we can see that a little bit better. And I faded the background under camera controls and then just unchecking this fade button. So let's enlarge that just a little bit more. So right now, all of these lines are not grouped together. It means that they're acting independently of each other. Now, because it's all selected as one solid piece, you can still move everything as one piece. But when we get to cutting, you'll want to group this together so it knows that each one is not an individual piece per se. So the next thing we're going to want to do is I want to get rid of this bottom line because I don't need that on my sign. I just want the lines on there. And the reason that bottom line is there is just to help you do some lining up. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on that. We're going to grab my little cross mark here, and that makes it so we can drag our camera all around just to make sure that these lines are just overlapping the edge of our sign, because we don't want them to stop short, because it probably wouldn't look quite as good. Okay, so now we're going to go back up to our arrow. We're going to highlight our whole thing. Actually, I take that back. We're going to go ahead and check mark on this guy right here, and that's going to select this bottom line, and then we're just going to go ahead and delete it. So now we've got a nice crisp line across the top that divides our sign in half, and we've got all of our shiplap signs. So the next step we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go into our cut settings. And we're going to come down here to our laser. So this is where we would start from, and we'll go ahead and go into cut layers. So right now, actually, let's go to our laser library. I've created one for making lines. So I'm going to double click on this. So right now, I have it set up for speed of 30 millimeters a second, 60% power, minimum power is 60%, and this is an 80-watt laser, so these are settings you can use on your 80-watt laser. And there's two things that you can do, two ways you can do this. One, you can have this set up in 3 passes, and so what I mean by that is the laser is going to go over each line 3 times, and why I'm doing that is because I'm creating some depth on each line. And also what I'm doing is each time it makes a pass, it is going to actually decrease the focal length of my laser head. So what it means is I'm going to drop my bed of my laser down 10 millimeters each pass. Now you can have it set up to do this all at one time, or you can create 3 separate layers. Now here I have a Z-step pass, and if for some reason your Z-step on your light burn is grayed out, it's real easy to change that. You just come up here to your little settings wheel, and you're going to go and find the thing that says enable, oops, cancel. Let's try this again. Oh, tools, right there, right next to the little wheel thing. I went to the wrong one, I'm sorry. And you're going to hit enable Z axis. And that makes it so that you can program in your bed height changes while it's cutting. So this will automatically make cuts at different heights for you. So once I've check marked that, I should be able to go in there, and I am going to go to my laser cut settings, double click on that, and it's going to show me line 1, 30 speed, 60% power, minimum power 60%, and I'm going to do this in a different way. I'm going to have each pass that the laser makes a separate line. So to do that, you'll just click the plus button up here and create a second line. So right now I have to make it 1 pass, 0 offset, so that'd be the normal focal length, and no changes here. Line 2, same power settings, 1 pass, but my Z offset is going to be -10, so that means it's going to drop it down 10 millimeters, and no other changes. Line 3, last but not least, it is going to drop it down to 20 millimeters. And 20 millimeters is based off of your 0 setting, so your normal focal length setting. And 30 and 60 and 60, so same. So line 1, line 2, line 3. And if we come over here, one last thing we want to do too is, since these are all separate lines, we don't want this laser to see it as each line being separately. So I'm going to hit the button that says group here. And now everything is one continuous line. So let's see, we're going to right click on that and we're going to hit preview. And to do that whole thing here, it's going to take about 4 minutes. And we have optimization turned on. So next thing we need to do is we need to come over to our laser, and then we're going to hit move. And so we need to first focus this, so I'm going to click on this guy here, click anywhere on your project, and now it's going to move my laser head to wherever I clicked. And now I'm going to hit Z focus. Now that everything's focused, double checking my settings, making sure everything looks good, we can go ahead and hit start. So we're finished. Let's take a look at it. So zooming in on this here, you can see the type of lines that we created, where there's one little crisp line that makes it look like these are really nicely butted together, and then you have a little groove. And once you get that groove just brushed out a little bit and then you paint it, I think it's going to look really awesome. All right, guys, I think that turned out really awesome, and I can't wait to paint this, and I'll post some pictures of it when it's done. But a couple quick pro tips on this. One, obviously you have to have an autofocus laser to be able to do this automatically. Now you can adjust your laser bed in between each pass, and of course you'll have to run your laser head over there and check it with the focal gauge. Now because this is the autofocus, I'm able to do that. Now a couple other things. One, when you go and enable your Z focus and you go back and make your cuts, if you find that it is autofocusing between each line or each thing, you need to go back in here and enable the Z focus optimization. And I actually just learned that a few minutes ago. I couldn't figure out why between each cut it was autofocusing each line, making the line autofocusing, and that just really increased my job time. Couldn't figure out why. And it was that Z focus optimization. So make sure that's turned on, and you'll turn it on in the exact same place that you went and enabled Z focus as well. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, or I left something out, be sure to leave them below, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks, guys.